Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna to everyone. So we welcome you all for this Bhagavatam morning session. So till now we have seen Canto 1, Chapter 12. So almost for 12 weeks we have seen 12 chapters. So today we'll discuss 13th chapter, which titles as Dhritarashtra quits home. So we'll look into brief uh, things what we have discussed. So in the few chapters we have seen how no, the war of Mahabharata has ended in the last, and how King Parikshit Maharaj is saved by Lord Krishna. Then how Ashwathama is no, is punished. No, how Ashwathama kills five sons of Draupadi, and how he tries to kill Parikshit Maharaj through Brahmastra. And then how we have seen Krishna saves Parikshit Maharaj. And then we have seen prayers of Kunti Maharani, we have seen prayers of Bhishma Pita, right? And then finally, now after the war is over, and now Yudhishthira Maharaj is happy that no Parikshit Maharaj is born. So now they are ruling the earthly planet. And here in this chapter, we can see from here we'll see that how slowly everybody will start quitting their body. So it will start with Dhritarashtra. Then we'll see how Lord Krishna and the Yadu dynasty they quit the earthly planet, then how the Pandavas will go to Himalayas and they'll quit, right? So basically, all the famous personalities from Mahabharata, they would quit, and eventually the Kali Yuga will begin, and then Parikshit Maharaj will rule the earthly planet, right? So we'll start with the reciting the first verse of this chapter. So I'm reading from Canto 1, 13th chapter, first shloka. सूत उवाच विदुरस्तीर्थयात्रायां मैत्रयात् आत्मनो गतिं ज्ञात्वा वाददाष्टिन् पुरं त्या tvaya vapta vivistita. So here, Sutta Goswami is now trying to explain how the great personality Vidura, after receiving knowledge from Maitreya Muni, he has come back to Hastinapur, right? He has come back to Hastinapur as a learned person, as a gnani, right? So we have seen during Mahabharata, in the Mahabharata war, we don't see Vidura, right? Why? Because we know that Vidura has always been advising Dhritarashtra how he should actually not listen to his son Duryodhan, right? Every time there is a problem created by Duryodhan, Vidura is always suggesting Dhritarashtra, don't do as your son is saying, right? And which is not liked by Duryodhan, right? And then at one time, what happens? Finally, Duryodhan scolds Vidura and he asks him to go away, right? And at that time, Vidura thinks, okay, what is the use of staying in this place? And then he goes on a pilgrimage, right? So he becomes a mendicant. You know? So we'll see who Vidura is actually, right? So in first the shloka only in the purport, Prabhupada is giving who Vidura is actually, right? So if we see, Vidura is actually the Yamaraj. He is an incarnation of Yamaraj, right? So it so happens that one time there is a great sage called Manduka Muni, right? So what happens during one time? There are some thieves who rob and they hide in the house of Manduka Muni, right? So in search of thieves, the soldiers of the king, they come, they search for the thieves. So along with the thief, they also find Manduka Muni. So because they don't know, right, that Manduka Muni is a great sage, so they also take Manduka Muni along with all the thieves. So they present all the thieves and Manduka Muni in front of the king and they pass a judgment that no, they all should be punished. And how the punishment should be? The punishment is that they would be pierced with no some arrow from their back, right? So that was a very horrible punishment which they have been given. But after some time, the king realizes that no, among the thieves, there is one great sage. No, he's a muni, he's not a thief. So after realizing, no, you just imagine someone tells that no, after some time you will be pierced with arrows from backside, how you will feel. So that great Muni also was feeling very disturbed. But at the last moment, king recognizes that, oh yes, he's a sage, he's not a thief. And then he asks for forgiveness. But still, because he has to go through that pain, no, that pain of feeling that he'll die soon. So he was very disturbed, Manduka Muni. Because he was a great sage, he was able to go to Yamaloka. No, he went directly to Yamaloka and he asked Yamaraj, no, why this has happened? I'm such a great Muni, I'm a sadhu, but why I should face this situation? Then Yamaraj, he says, okay, let me look, why you have faced this situation. And then he tries to tell that, no, when you were very, very small, like when you were a kid, like 4 years or 5 years, you were playing with ants, small, small ants, and you were trying to hit them with a needle, right? So because you caused them that pain, so that's why no, this reaction had come to you. Then Manduka Muni was very angry. He told to Yamraj that you are holding such a position where you have to see everyone's karma and give them reactions, but you are not knowledgeable. You don't know that whatever small kids do, no, till the age of 5, whatever they do, no, they are not given reaction because they are innocent. No, out of innocency, they do whatever they do, or they perform any activities. So in scriptures, it is said that till age of 5, whatever they do, they will not receive any reactions. But here, Yamaraj was giving this Manduka Muni a reaction which he performed when he was very small, right? So that's why Manduka Muni, he curses Yamaraj that you don't know the proper dharma. So you are behaving like a Sudra. So you take born as a Sudra in the earthly planet. So that's how Yamaraj, he takes birth as Vidura, right? So Vidura, we know Vidura is actually son of a maid servant, right? So he's a brother of Pandu, King Pandu, and he's also brother of Dhritarashtra. So that's why you can see that Vidura is always with Dhritarashtra. No, he's always with him, guiding him, because he knows that Dhritarashtra is blind physically. So he is always taking care of him. But at this point of time, when Duryodhan, no, he goes beyond the limit and he chastises Vidura, then Vidura feels that no, what is the use of me being here, because nobody is taking my good suggestions, right? Because whatever good suggestions he was trying to give to Duryodhan or Dhritarashtra, every time when they are in trouble, Vidura would say that no, you give back the kingdom to the Pandavas. No, you please don't make all these plans, right? And we have seen, no, in when the Pandavas were very young, Vidura would save them from many situations, right? So we'll see in the further chapter when no Yudhishthir Maharaj he praises his uncle Vidura, right? So this is a brief introduction about Vidura. And when he moves away, so when he goes to pilgrimage, no, so this is before the start of Mahabharata war. So when Vidura goes, he goes to the pilgrimage. He goes to different Tirtha Yatras. So he becomes completely like a sadhu. No, it is very, very difficult. No, because Vidura was staying in a palace and he was getting all the royal treatment in the palace. So for a person to live all the luxury and comfort and to live like a mendicant is very, very difficult. But Vidura, he took, because he's a Yamaraj and he has to take the prashita for what he has done. So he goes on a Tirth Yatra. So when he goes on a Tirth Yatra, so it is said that for about 20 years he goes to Tirth Yatra. So now we see that after the war has happened and everybody is in the palace, Hastinapur, Parikshit Maharaj has born. So now Vidura is coming back. So why Vidura is coming back, we'll see. So now once Vidura was in the pilgrimage, he meets Uddhav, right? So Uddhav is cousin to Lord Krishna, and it is said that Uddhav is very, very close to Lord Krishna. Even physical appearance also, Uddhav is very similar to Lord Krishna. So if someone sees Uddhav from far, they would think, okay, Lord Krishna has come, right? So in qualities also, he was very, very similar to Lord Krishna. So when Lord Krishna, he quit his body, so we all know this famous Uddhav Geet, right? So in the presence of Uddhav and in presence of Maitreya Muni, so Lord Krishna has revealed some instructions to Uddhav. So once when Vidura meets Uddhav, so he starts asking about Yadu dynasty, how Lord Krishna is in Dwarka. But Uddhav knows that no, Lord Krishna has passed away and he reveals the same to Lord Krishna, sorry, reveals the same to Vidura, and Vidura is very, very much disturbed. And he wants to learn from Uddhav the instructions which have been given to him by Lord Krishna. But Uddhav being very young, no, Uddhav is, Vidura is like an uncle to Uddhav actually. So Uddhav didn't think that it was right for him to instruct Vidura. So in fact, he says that, no, you go to Maitreya Muni. No, Maitreya Muni is very nearby and he was also present along with me when Krishna gave instructions. So you please go to Maitreya Muni and learn from him. And this is when Vidura, he goes to Maitreya Muni and there is a lot of dialogue between Vidura and Maitreya Muni. So we'll see in Canto 2, 3, 4 further in the Bhagavatam, it is all conversation between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. So now after learning the knowledge or after getting the Gnan from Maitreya Muni, Vidura, he happens to think that no, I have to save my brother Dhritarashtra. No, even after the war, my brother Dhritarashtra is comfortably staying in Hastinapur. No, he is not thinking about progressing spiritually further. He has become very old, so I have to go and save him, right? So Vidura was away from palace or Hastinapur for a long time. But now, why did he decide to come back? He decided to come back not to enjoy the palace, right? He didn't go to Hastinapur to enjoy the comforts of the palace, right? Because If he goes back also, obviously he'll be treated very nicely. He would have a very good stay, right? And he would have good things to eat and very comfortable bed to sleep on, or very comfortable place to stay in. But when you compare, no, even our life, if we try to compare with a sadhu is always on go. No, he's going from one place to another place. He doesn't know where he'll sleep tonight. He doesn't know tomorrow where he would be able to sit. No, whether he will get a place to sit, or he would just have to walk through jungle. Whether he'll get water to drink, or whether he'll get some food to eat, right? So that's the situation of a sadhu or a mendicant. So here Vidura was living that life for 20 years. But after getting knowledge from Maitri Muni, he decides that anyway, I am near Hastinapur. So let me go to Hastinapur and give some knowledge to Dhritarashtra and wake him up from his sleep, right? So here, after this first verse, we will see like how now, Vidura, after a long time when he comes to Hastinapur, how everybody is feeling, right? So in this chapter from verse number 3 to 13, so we can see how different personalities in Hastinapur are feeling. So we have seen, right? When Krishna is living from um, Kurukshetra, how Yudhishthira Maharaj, Kunti Maharani, and all other Pandavas were feeling. Then again, we saw when Lord Krishna had come to Dwarka, how all the Dwarka Vasis were feeling, right? So here now we will see how when great sage like no Vidura is coming back to his place after 20 years, how they were feeling, right? So from 3 to 13, so it is a description how different personalities like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya, Kripacharya, Kunti Devi, Draupadi, Gandhari, no, all these personalities, including all other Kauravas, no, all the wives of all the Kauravas, right? So Kauravas are not there, but their wives are still there in Hastinapur, right? So all of them, no, when they see Vidura coming to Hastinapur after a long time, they feel so much happy. So it is described in the verse that they feel as if the life has returned to their bodies, right? So you can feel, you can know, right? So if someone very dear to us, if they leave the house and if they come after a long time, like for example, son, no, he goes away from the house without telling. Let's assume he goes away without telling. No, you can just imagine the situation of mother, how she is living, no, after a week, month, years, no, you can just assume how she would live. But once she suddenly when the son comes to house, how much happy she would feel, right? So we can see that no, the life has come back to mother like that, right? So similarly here also we can see that all these personalities, they were feeling so much love and affection towards Vidura, that it is said that no, that it is described that as if their life has come back to their bodies. There were so much of happiness among them. And then Vidura was no, he was invited. He was given a very good seat comfortably, and then he was fed very nice prashadam, because they would know that he has been living like a sadhu for almost 20 years. So obviously they can expect that no, how much he would have got to eat, how much comforts he would have got to no be in. So now they are treating him very nicely. No, they are giving him very nice seat comfortably for him to take rest, and they're feeding him also. And then he is Maharaj Yudhishthir, he is inquiring, right? So he's inquiring like where he has traveled, how he has been, how he has taken care of his bodily needs, right? So here we can see that Maharaj Yudhishthir is inquiring from Duryodhan, right? So here among these verse, especially in the 10th verse, Prabhupada is giving in purport like how one should receive a devotee. is Prabhupada speaks importance of devotee actually, right? So we know the fact, it is given in scriptures also, many a times we have discussed that whenever we go to a pilgrimage, holy place, right? It is not that we just go to a holy place, visit a temple and come back, right? So that is not the purpose of visiting a holy place. The purpose of visiting a holy place is to meet the sadhus or the holy persons who are in the pilgrimage in that holy place, and inquire from them, talk to them, get knowledge from them, right? And be more Krishna conscious, right? Because the importance of a devotee is that a devotee can give Krishna conscious to other people, right? So Prabhupada here, he gives example of electricity, right? So if you see in our house, we will see like in every room there is electricity, right? But you cannot utilize that electricity from the wire itself. No, you need to have a port. No, there is one port plug. So if you put your mobile charger, then you can charge your mobile. But anywhere and everywhere, you cannot utilize electricity as such, right? So similarly, Supreme Lord is present everywhere. But for us to realize Supreme Lord, we have to take shelter of the devotees of the Lord, right? So it is similar to another analogy is like air is everywhere, right? Air is everywhere. But if you sit under a fan, you can realize the air, right? You feel, now it is very comfortable. Now you can realize that, yeah, there is air around me, right? So similarly, the Supreme Lord is there everywhere. But it is very, very difficult for us to realize, to know about him. But only through devotees, we can know the Supreme Lord, we can see the Supreme Lord, and now we can hear, now we can know about him, right? So it is very, very important for us to actually give lot of importance to the saintly people, no, even more than any other things, no other important things what we may think. It is very, very important to actually receive a saintly person, to hear from a saintly person. So the same is exhibited by Yudhishthira Maharaj here, no, because he know that Vidura is no more a simply uncle to him now, no. Now he has become a very gnani. No, he has lived his life as a mendicant and he has become a sadhu. So he is trying to hear from Vidurji. Okay, so we can see that from verse 3 to 30. So it is how they receive King Vidura. So now after that, we can see that Vidura is speaking. No, he starts speaking. And he starts speaking in a such a way that he want to cut the Dhritarashtra's relationship with the material things, right? Because the only reason Vidura is coming to Hastinapur is to take Dhritarashtra with him. That is the only purpose. No, he doesn't have any other purpose of uh, like, okay, let me stay sometime in Hastinapur comfortably and then I'll go back to my pilgrimage. No, he has just taken some time just to see that no, Dhritarashtra can cut his attachment to the material things, right? So from verse number 17 to 15, we can see how Vidura is speaking to Dhritarashtra and making him realize that no, the time has come. He has become old. No, he has enjoyed enough of the palace comforts, right? So when King Pandu was not there, so Dhritarashtra had become king, right? And the Pandavas were very, very, very young, right? And from the time he has become till today, no, after the Pandavas have grown elderly people and after they have no internal fight, no, his son Duryodhan wanted to capture the kingdom and how they defeat the Pandavas in the dice game, and they send Pandavas to the forest for 13, 14 years, and how they have enjoyed during that time the kingdom. And then after when the Pandavas return, how they were not agreeing to give the kingdom back to Pandavas, and how they have to fight the war, Mahabharata war at Kurukshetra, and then he lost all his sons. And after that also what he is doing? He's still staying in the palace comfortably, right? So that's why Vidura is coming to Dhritarashtra and is telling what kind of a person you are. No, you are the same person who had tried to kill all the Pandavas, and now you are trying to stay under their protection like a dog, right? Because no, these were the same people he wanted to kill, and these were the same people who have killed his son, right? So all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra were killed by Pandavas, and here we can see that Dhritarashtra is still staying under the protection of Yudhishthir Maharaj. So Vidura was, he was scolding Dhritarashtra left and right. He was telling, no, you don't have any, what to say, maryada. No, how can you stay in such a place? No, even after doing so many things, you are still attached to the kingdom. You are still attached to the opulence, royal opulences. No, now at least you come out. No, because you have become old. So he gives a description. So you have become so old that you are not able to see properly. You have become so old that you are not able to hear properly. So what is the use for you to stay in this palace still? No, so you should actually quit your palace and then go out for self-realization, right? So after hearing this, no, then he tells so many things. He tells, no, you are not only blind from your birth, no, you're blind uh, in your heart also, because he's not able to see what is right for him, right? So he's still being attached to the material opulences and he's still in the palace, right? So after talking so harshly to Dhritarashtra, so it is not harsh, it is just the truth, because we cannot talk like that to a very young kid, right? Who is 5 years, 10 years, we cannot talk. But here, Dhritarashtra is very old and is at the verge of quitting his life. So he has become so old that he's not able to hear, he's not able to see, he's not able to walk properly. So he has come to end of his life. So now Vidura wants him to realize at least now and quit his body in a very properly manner. He doesn't want him to quit his body with all the attachments to the material things, right? So having said this, no, Vidura, when he's speaking like this, even all the other people, Yudhishthira Maharaj and all the other Pandavas, they're also listening to Vidura, right? So once this is completed, then we can see that Dhritarashtra, no, very quietly that night, he leaves the family behind, right? So after, being powerfully, um, what to say, being realized by the powerful words of Vidura, Dhritarashtra takes a decision to quit his home. He realizes that no, now the time has come. Now, at least now I have to realize and become a vanaprastha or do some tapasya to realize God. Then we can see that Dhritarashtra, no, he quits the home very quietly in the night. And we can also see that Gandhari, no, she also being a uh, daughter of a king and experiencing only kingly opulence from the childhood, she also takes a decision to quit the home along with Dhritarashtra. So in the 30th verse, Prabhupada actually gives little bit about Gandhari. We'll read a few lines about Gandhari. So it is said that Gandhari was a daughter of King Subala and she was a wife of King Dhritarashtra, was an idol as a wife devoted to her husband. The Vedic civilization especially prepares chaste and devoted wives, of whom Gandhari is one among many mentioned in history. Lakshmi ji, Sita Devi, Sita Devi was also a daughter of a great king, but she followed her husband, Lord Ramchandra, in the forest. Similarly, as a woman, Gandhari would have remained at home or at her father's house. But as a chaste wife and a gentle lady, she decided to follow her husband without considerations, right? So we also can see the character of Gandhari. So when Gandhari was married to Dhritarashtra, when she came to know that her husband is blind, now he cannot see. So she also took the decision of becoming blind for her whole life, right? So she has taken that humble position. So here also we can see that even after Dhritarashtra has quitted, she could have remained in the palace, or she could have gone to her father's place. But without considering any of these options, she still took the option of going with her husband Dhritarashtra, right? So in the further verses, it is given that know how Dhritarashtra and Gandhari has left along with Vidura, right? So all these three personalities in the night they leave, and at the next day, with Yudhishthira Maharaj and Sanjaya and all the other Pandavas, they realize that they are not able to find their uncle, Dhritarashtra. They are not able to find their uncle Vidura, and they are not able to find Gandhari, and they are lamenting, right? So we can see from verse number 31 to 38, descriptions are given how Yudhishthir Maharaj is lamenting. So actually we have seen in the past also, when Bhishma Pita, he talks to Yudhishthir Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj is lamenting that because of him only, there have been so many people who have been killed in the war of Kurukshetra. So this is a very natural quality of a devotee. A devotee doesn't blame others. No, he himself takes the blame. No, he uh, blames himself for everything what is uh, whatever bad or suffering is happening. So here also Yudhishthira Maharaj, once he realizes that Dhritarashtra has left, he is blaming himself. Now he's thinking, oh, maybe I have not taken care of them very nicely. No, they felt that no, because we have killed their sons and we are not treating them very nicely. So he was lamenting. And here we can also see how Yudhishthir Maharaj, how did he come to know that no, this uncle has quit the home or Dhritarashtra is nowhere in the home. So Yudhishthira Maharaj had a very nice no duties to perform in the morning. So he will rise in the morning, he'll perform his prayers, he will do some fire sacrifice to sun god, and then he'll do some charity to the brahmanas, and then he'll go in the palace and he will actually go to all elderly people and take their blessings, right? So during this time when he went to the palace of Dhritarashtra to take blessings from Dhritarashtra, that's when he realizes that no, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari and Vidura are not present. Right? So this is a very good example. No? So though Yudhishthira Maharaj was the emperor, but if you look at his dincharya, no, the way he lived his life was very, very simple. He was following the dharma very, very nicely, right? So if we look at ourselves, no, if we become little rich, if we have little powers, no, we will not follow all these things, right? So our like people will expect no when they wake up, the breakfast and tea, coffee should come to their bed. Then after having breakfast, they want to just enjoy some time. They may take bath, they may not take bath, and they plan, okay, how I can enjoy today's day. So that's how a common person would actually lead their life when they have a lot of opulence and power. But here we see from the example of Yudhishthira Maharaj, being emperor also, he was following very nice morning program where he was taking darshan of the Lord, praying to the Lord, uh, giving charity to the brahmanas, taking blessings from the elderly people. Right? So we can learn all these things. Now, apart from Yudhishthir Maharaj, no, Sanjay was the person who was feeling very, very bad because Sanjay was a personal secretary to Dhritarashtra, right? So, of course, Sanjay knew that Dhritarashtra had not taken good decisions in his life. But being the servant or being a personal secretary of Dhritarashtra, he has always given him good advice, right? So, like Vidura, Sanjay also has always given Dhritarashtra good advice, and he was always with him, taking care of his needs. So now even Sanjay was feeling very, very bad that no, his master Dhritarashtra, he has gone without telling him, right? Because all his life, no, because Sanjay was his servant, so Sanjay was serving very loyally Dhritarashtra, right? All his life he has served Dhritarashtra. So now he is feeling cheated that no, without telling me, how can my master leave me, right? So during this time, no, when everybody is lamenting, so we can see that a great Devarshi Narada, he comes to the palace of Hastinapur. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj, he pays obeisances to Narad Muni. And then Narad Muni, he explains that, how, due to the Kala, so every living entity in the material world is actually under the control of Kala. And Kala is another form of Lord Krishna, right? So as per the Kala, people come together, they live together, they perform some activities together, and after certain time they disperse. No, right? We cannot be with our family, with our friends forever and ever, right? So one day will come. So even when we are not even ready, also a day will come where we have to quit this body. So when we quit this body, obviously we have to quit the relationship what we had with our family, with our friends. And when we take another body, we again come close to some other personalities, right? So this life you may have one family, one set of friends, but next family you'll have another set of family, another set of friends. And after that also you may quit the body and you can leave, you would leave them, and again you will have another set of family members or another set of friends, right? So like that, Narad Muni explains that any living entity who is under the influence of Kala or time has to come together for a certain time, and after certain time they have to disperse, right? So they get separated. So there is nothing to lament. No, Sithaprajna, no, a person who is intelligent, he understands this, that no, this is the nature of the material world. And then he tells that how uh, no, that Dhritarashtra and Vidura and Gandhari, they have gone towards the Himalayas. And there he describes how Dhritarashtra is performing tapasya. No, he's started doing Ashtanga yoga, no, to control his senses and breathe. And he's taking bath thrice a day, morning, noon, and evening. And how he's performing Agnihotra sacrifice with the fire. And how he's not eating anything and he's drinking only water. So like this, Narad Muni explains that Dhritarashtra will perform this tapasya for 5 days, and at the end of the fifth day, by his tapasya, he will burn his body, and then his soul will merge into the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna. And when his body is burning, then his good wife Gandhari also will burn her body by entering into the fire. And seeing this, Vidura, he was very happy that no, that Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they were able to quit their body and they were able to liberate themselves. And looking at this side, Vidura, he leaves that place and continues his pilgrimage. And then Narad Muni explaining this, he says, Yudhishthira Maharaj not to worry. And then he leaves the Hastinapur, right? So with this description, this chapter ends actually, right? So actually during this time, when Vidura has come to Hastinapur, Lord Krishna and the Yadu dynasty has already left their bodies, right? But because Vidura knew that no, if I tell them, it will give lot of suffering to the Pandavas. So anyway, they will come to know somehow. So let me not tell them because it will suffer them a lot. So we can learn, no, Prabhupada in purport he mentions that even the truth also, if it is unpalatable, no, if it is causing some suffering to others, we should not tell that. No, we should not think, oh, this is truth. अरे ये तो सच्ची है. बोलने में क्या हर्ज है? No, if it is causing some pain to the other person, we should not tell that. No, we should let them know that whatever information in the right way, right? So here, if you see, we can see example of Vidura that though he knew that Lord Krishna has quit, but he's still not revealing that to Yudhishthira Maharaj and Pandavas, because he knows that, okay, by time they'll come to know, right? Somehow after some time they'll come to know. So till that time, at least when they don't know, they can live normally, right? But once they come to know that Lord Krishna has quit, then they cannot live normally, right? So we'll see in the next chapter how Lord Krishna and Yadu dynasty, they quit the body. And after that chapter, we'll see another chapter where Yudhishthir Maharaj, Draupadi, and all the Pandavas, knowing that no, Lord Krishna and the Yadu dynasty has left, and Parikshit Maharaj has become young enough to take care of the Hastinapur. So they also go, they quit the home, right? They quit the palace and they also go to Himalayas. And how they quit their body, so those descriptions are given. So we are coming almost end to the Canto 1. So Canto 1, so here we have seen how Dhritarashtra lives. Then we'll see how Krishna leaves. Then we'll see how Pandavas also, they leave their body. And then actually from 16th chapter, we'll see how King Parikshit, he rules in Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga would have come by that time, right? So once Krishna leaves the planet, Kali Yuga slowly starts no, entering. Actually, it gets started. And then Parikshit Maharaj has to rule no, in Kali Yuga actually. So then we'll see how he's ruling in Kali Yuga, what are the qualities of Kali Yuga, right? And then how, by the effect of Kali Yuga, he get cursed by Brahmana boy, and then how he meets Sukadev Goswami, and then what Sukadev Goswami reveals. So this one canto is only setting scene for us for further topics of Bhagavatam. No, see this 19 chapters. See now we have not seen any descriptions like what Sukadeva Goswami has spoken, right? We know Bhagavatam was spoken when Parikshit Maharaj was cursed, and when he met Sukadeva Goswami, they started conversing about Bhagavatam. So here that conversation has not at all started, right? So all these 19 chapters in first canto is only setting one scene. Okay, when Bhagavatam has started, what is the background, what has happened, who are the personalities, right? So in the next week, we will see the chapter 14 and 15 together. So we'll see how Krishna and the Pandavas, they quit their body and how the Kali Yuga starts. And after that, we'll see how King Parishit Maharaj, he rules the planet in Kali Yuga. And we'll see the effects of Kali Yuga. So with this, we'll stop today's session on this chapter. Dhritarashtra quits home. So any questions, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Danvat Pranam. Very nice explanation, Prabhu. I have one doubt actually. You just explain ना कि धृतराष्ट्र जो है वो उनको जो है सायुज्य मुक्ति मिल गई, he liberated.
Right.
So because of meditation on Krishna or because of association of devotees, because what you explain कि उन्होंने बहुत तपस्या की और बहुत austerity की, तो because of austerity and tapasya or how he get the liberation?
Both, Mataji, because he was able to associate with Vidura and he got the right knowledge from Vidura. So only after getting knowledge from Vidura, he realized that he has to do tapasya to realize God. So that's when he went to Himalayas, then he started doing Ashtanga Yoga. He meditated on the Supreme Lord, and then he got the liberation. So even हमारे life में भी we see that only after receiving instructions from devotees, we start performing devotional service. है ना? So अगर हमको कल को कुछ मिलता है, तो ऑब्वियसली हमारे भक्ति की वजह से ही है, लेकिन उसका हाथ भक्तों का भी है उसमें, है ना? बिकॉज दे हैव गिवन अस इंस्ट्रक्शन कि आपको क्या करना है, आपको हरे कृष्णा मंत्र का जाप करना है, पूजा करनी है, भगवत गीता पढ़ना है, भागवतम पढ़नी है, भक्तों की सेवा करनी है, मंदिर में डीटीज की सेवा करनी है ना? तो वॉट एवर हमको जो भी पता है, हमने जो भी किया है, वो उनके इंस्ट्रक्शंस की वजह से ही है ना? तो इधर भी धृतराष्ट्र भी जो भी उन्होंने किया है, जो भी तपस्या उन्होंने की है, वो विदुर जी के लिए, मतलब उनसे सीख के ही किया है उन्होंने, राइट? एंड इट इज नॉट ओनली दैट कि वही टाइम पे उन्होंने उनसे सुन के किया है ये, वो अपनी पूरी लाइफ में उन 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 ही वॉज हियरिंग टू देम, उनसे सुनते आए हैं, बट ही नेवर रियलाइज्ड। अब जब कुछ कुछ भी नहीं है, अब वो मतलब अब वो गद्दी भी नहीं है, क्योंकि अब वो तो बुजुर्ग हो गए, वो तो कभी राजा नहीं बन सकते। अब ना ही उनके पुत्र कोई राजा बन सकता है, क्योंकि अब वो तो चले गए। तो अब सब कुछ खो दिया उन्होंने। सो नाउ ही इज एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ विदुरा वाज राइट एवरी टाइम, एंड नाउ ही टुक इट सीरियसली। हमारे लाइफ में भी होता है ना, जब सब कुछ रहता है हमको लगता है कि चलो वहां चले जाएंगे, बच्चों के साथ ये कर लेंगे, और जब कुछ खत्म हो जाता है और फिर हमको लगता है कि अब वो सब कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता, तो तब हम सीरियसली कुछ बातों को लेते हैं, है ना। भले ही हमने वो बातों को सुनी होगी कभी, लेकिन हम उतने सीरियसली नहीं लेते। बट व्हेन द टाइम कम्स एक्चुअली, जब हमारे पास सब कुछ कुछ भी नहीं है डिपेंड होने के लिए, पहले हमारे पास बहुत कुछ था, बैंक बैलेंस था, बच्चे थे, यहाँ वहाँ घूमने का मतलब अपॉर्चुनिटी थी। अब एक व्यक्ति बुजुर्ग में जो देख नहीं सकता, चल नहीं सकता, सुन नहीं सकता, वो क्या कर सकता है? ना वो वर्ल्ड टूर पे जा सकता है, ना अब बच्चे तो है ही नहीं, या पोतों के साथ कोई खेल सकता है, नो। सो धृतराष्ट्र के पास कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं था। तो वो लाइफ में ऐसे सिचुएशन में थे कि वो अब विदुर जी के मतलब जब उन्होंने बोला, तो उन्होंने अच्छी तरह उसका श्रवण करके उसको समझा। समझ रहे हो ना? तो हमारे लाइफ में भी ऐसे होता है कि बहुत बार डिवोटीज बोलते हैं कि आप ये कर लो, वैसे कर लो, ये कर लो, लेकिन जब तक हमारे पास ऑप्शंस रहते हैं, चलो ठीक है बाद में कर लेंगे, चलो अब तो घूमने चलते हैं, अभी हमको नो हमने घूमने कहीं जाना है, बाहर जाना है, उधर जाना है, कोई रिलेटिव्स के घर पे शादी है, चलो उसकी तैयारी करते हैं, उसकी शॉपिंग करते हैं। तो नो वी हैव सो मेनी प्लान्स, हमारे पास बहुत सारे प्लान्स रहते हैं। बट जब ये सारे खत्म हो जाते हैं हमारे जीवन में, हाँ सोच लो कि आप बुजुर्ग हो गए, आपके बच्चे सेटल हो गए, वो कहीं और रहते हैं, आप कहीं और रहते हो, तो आपके पास कोई ऑप्शन भी नहीं है, कोई आपको बुलाता भी नहीं है कि भाई आप आ जाओ शादी अटेंड कर लो, या कोई आपको बुलाता भी नहीं, चलो हम घूमने जा रहे हैं हमारे साथ चल चलो घूमने, तो आपके पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं रहता, है ना। तो तब कोई व्यक्ति आपको कुछ बोलता है कि भगवान के प्रति ऐसे भक्ति कर लो, ये कर लो, तो हम बहुत गौर से सुनते हैं वो बातें और गौर से समझते हैं, है ना। तो तब हम जाके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन शायद अच्छी तरह करते हैं। तो इधर भी धृतराष्ट्र के साथ वही हुआ कि जब उनके पास कोई भी ऑप्शन नहीं था, तो उन्होंने बहुत सीरियसली लिया विदुर जी की जो भी बातें थी, और फिर उन्होंने तपस्या किया। एंड हमने देखा ही है ना, हमारी लाइफ में भी हमने कभी एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा कि जब हमारे पास कुछ भी नहीं रहता डिपेंड होने के लिए, और हम भगवान के प्रति इतनी तीव्रता से हम डिपेंड होते हैं कि हम बहुत अच्छी तरह भक्ति करते हैं, है ना। तो धृतराष्ट्र के साथ भी यही हुआ कि उनके पास कुछ था ही नहीं डिपेंड होने के लिए, तो उन्होंने बहुत तीव्र भाव से उन्होंने जो भी अष्टांग योगा या जो भी तपस्या की उन्होंने किया, और फिर उन्होंने उनको जो मुक्ति है उनको भगवान ने प्रदान किया।
थैंक यू सो मच। और ये इनडायरेक्टली तो उन्होंने जो है संजय से भगवत गीता भी सुनी थी धृतराष्ट्र ने।
हाँ, तो ऑब्वियसली मतलब जो भी महाभारत के जो भी कैरेक्टर्स हैं, भागवतम के जो भी कैरेक्टर्स हैं, चाहे वो नेगेटिव में भी क्यों ना हो, हमारा नाम तो नहीं है भागवतम में, तो
Yes,
फिर हमसे बहुत अधिक
हाँ।
उत्तम मतलब वो आत्मा है, मतलब बहुत उत्तम स्तर के लोग हैं। तो ऑब्वियसली जैसे आपने बोला कि उन्होंने भगवत गीता भी सुना, लेकिन ऑब्वियसली मतलब उन्होंने जो सही माइंडसेट है उससे नहीं सुना होगा, बट स्टिल ही गॉट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी। तो संजय के मतलब उन्होंने संजय से पूछा, तब जाके भगवत गीता रिवील हुई, है ना। धृतराष्ट्र अगर पूछते ही नहीं संजय को कि बताओ कि युद्ध में क्या हो रहा है, तो शायद उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन ही ना आए महाभारत में, है ना। सो ऑब्वियसली मतलब प्रभुपाद बताते हैं जैसे शिशुपाल का वध करते हैं तो शिशुपाल को भी मुक्ति मिलती है ना। तो जैसे हम कोई भी राक्षस जो भी है, पूतना है या जो भी है, हम ये सुनते हैं कि जो भी जिनका भी भगवान ने वध किया उन सबको मुक्ति मिलती है, क्योंकि दे आर नॉट ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन्स। मतलब भगवान के सामने आके युद्ध करना या उनकी निंदा करना या एक विलन का रोल धारण करना भी बड़ी बात है ना। जैसे आप और मेरे जैसे लोगों को तो कोई लेगा नहीं, अगर कोई कुछ करना चाहे कि चलो आप ये कोई पात्र निभा लो कोई मूवी में या कोई कर लो, कोई अच्छा एक्टर होगा उसी से ही करेंगे कि भाई चलो आप विलन का रोल भी ले लो, क्योंकि वो अच्छा एक्टर है इसलिए उसको बोला गया है कि आप ये रोल अदा कर लो। तो ये लोग बहुत उत्तम मतलब स्तर के लोग हैं, तो इसलिए उनको एक मौका मिला है कि भगवान की लीला में किस प्रकार भी, मतलब कैसे भी, मतलब कई डिवोटीज हैं उन्होंने पॉजिटिव रोल अदा किया है, कई लोग हैं उन्होंने नेगेटिव रोल अदा किया है। तो ऑब्वियसली देयर इज समथिंग अबाउट धृतराष्ट्र, है ना। कि तब ऐसे नहीं है कि हम ऐसे नहीं देख सकते अरे ये तो एकदम विरोध थे, पांडव को मारने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, है ना। कि हम तो ऐसे कोई व्यक्ति नहीं है कि हम किसी के बच्चों को मारने की कोशिश करें, कोई कर रहा है, नहीं कर रहा है ना। तो ऐसे कोई सोच सकता है कि ये तो ऐसा व्यक्ति है तो फिर इसको कैसे मुक्ति मिल गई, है ना। तो वो सब भगवान की लीला है कि हमें कुछ वो बताना चाहते हैं या समझाना चाहते हैं, बट एक्चुअली एज ए पर्सनैलिटी धृतराष्ट्र इज एलिजिबल फॉर लिबरेशन, है ना। तो वो तपस्या वो जब करे हैं वो एकदम तीव्र भाव से किए हैं, है ना। तो शायद हमको लगे कि जब तक वो घर नहीं छोड़े उससे पहले तो वो एकदम मेटरलिस्टिक पर्सन थे, एकदम नेगेटिव कैरेक्टर में थे। बट वंस ही हर्ड फ्रॉम विदुरा, जैसे ही वो विदुर जी से सुनते हैं तो ही टुक इट वेरी सीरियसली। एंड जैसे प्रभुपाद बताते हैं कि कोई भी भक्त का चरित्र कैसा भी हो पुराना, पास्ट में हमने बहुत कुछ किया होगा बहुत लोगों ने, बट हमको वो सब नहीं देखना है, क्योंकि हमको नहीं पता हमने भी क्या किया है। मे बी इस जन्म में हमको लगता है कि हम तो बहुत अच्छे अच्छे हैं, थे अच्छे अच्छे रहे हैं, लेकिन हमको नहीं पता कि पुनर्जन्म ने हमने क्या क्या गलती की है, क्या क्या गलत काम किए। तो हम नहीं, ये नहीं सोच सकते कि अरे ये व्यक्ति तो अभी भक्ति कर रहा है, लेकिन इसके पहले तो ये ऐसा ऐसा व्यक्ति था, ऐसे ऐसे गंदे काम करता था, है ना। तो ये हमें नहीं सोचना चाहिए। तो once a person takes up to devotional service, whatever he was is immaterial। जो वो व्यक्ति जो पहले कैसे था उसका कोई मतलब इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं है ना। वो व्यक्ति अभी भगवान की भक्ति कर रहा है, वही इम्पोर्टेंट है। उसके पहले हमको कुछ भी नहीं देखना है। कुछ भी हम सुन सकते होंगे कि ये भक्ति करने से पहले ये व्यक्ति ऐसे था, ऐसे गंदे काम करता था, या शराब पीता था, या मांस खाता था, कुछ भी हो सकता है, या बहुत बड़े पाप भी कर सकता है। तो वो सब इमटेरियल है, हमको उन सब चीजों का इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं देना चाहिए। हमको जो भक्त जो है अभी जो भक्ति कर रहा है उसको इम्पोर्टेंस देना चाहिए और उसकी रेस्पेक्ट करनी चाहिए, है ना। तो हियर ऑल्सो धृतराष्ट्र वंस ही क्विट, no, we have to respect Dhritarashtra for becoming very serious in spirituality and performing tapasya। आम बात तो नहीं है कि आप हिमालय पे जाके एक अग्निहोत्र करके खाली जल पीना, तो साधारण कोई बात नहीं है वो। हम इतना मतलब भागवतम पढ़ चुके हैं, भगवत गीता पढ़ चुके हैं, हमें कोई बोले कि आप घर छोड़ के ये तपस्या करो तो हमारे लिए तो पॉसिबल नहीं है, संभव नहीं है ना। तो वी हैव टू रेस्पेक्ट द पोजिशन ऑफ धृतराष्ट्र। हमको ये नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि अरे इस व्यक्ति को कैसे मुक्ति मिल गई, नहीं। मतलब उन्होंने सीरियसली लिया है, स्पिरिचुअलिटी को सीरियसली लिया है, उन्होंने तपस्या की है, और तब जाके उनको जो मुक्ति है मिली है।
थैंक यू
ठीक
सो
है।
मच। यस यस। तो ये फर्स्ट कैंटो में ये संवाद जो है, कन्वर्सेशन बिटवीन मैत्री मुनि और विदुरा।
नहीं, फर्स्ट कैंटो नहीं, फर्स्ट कैंटो तो अभी ये सब जो मुनि लोग हैं, शौनिक मुनि और जो सूत गोस्वामी है, उनके बीच में बात चल रही है ना। जो अभी जो भी डिस्क्रिप्शन है ये सब सूत गोस्वामी बता रहे हैं। किनको बता रहे हैं? शौनिक ऋषि को बता रहे हैं, है ना। तो अब तक ना विदुर जी और मैत्रेय के बारे में बात हुई है, ना ही परीक्षित महाराज और सूत गोस्वामी के बारे में हुई है ना। तो वो कॉन्वर्सेशन अभी चला ही नहीं है, अभी चल रहा है कॉन्वर्सेशन सूत गोस्वामी और शौनिक ऋषि। तो अब हम नैमिषारण्य में हैं, और नैमिषारण्य में ये सब जो भी बातें हैं, हम फर्स्ट चैप्टर से लेके अभी 13 चैप्टर तक जो भी सुने हैं, ये सारी बातें सूत गोस्वामी बता रहे हैं। किनको बता रहे हैं? शौनिक ऋषि को बता रहे हैं। और शौनिक ऋषि जो है, जो नैमिषारण्य में इकट्ठे हुए हैं, और वो चाहते हैं कि कलयुग का जो प्रभाव है वो कम करना चाहते हैं, या जो कॉमन पीपल है उनके लिए कुछ उद्धार हो, या उनके लिए कुछ अच्छा हो, वो कुछ करना चाहते हैं। तो उस समय ये जो मतलब जो संवाद जो है वो चल रहा है। ठीक है माता जी।
ठीक। थैंक यू सो मच प्रभुजी। हरे
तो ये
कृष्ण।
जो आखिरी कैंटो मतलब 19वां जो अध्याय है जो परीक्षित महाराज के बारे में है, तब तक हम यही देखेंगे कि सूत गोस्वामी जो है नैमिषारण्य में शौनक ऋषि को बता रहे हैं ये सारी बातें। तो उन दोनों के बीच में ये संवाद है। तो फिर आगे हम देखेंगे संवाद कैसे चेंज होता है कि परीक्षित महाराज और क्या बोलते हैं सुखदेव गोस्वामी के बीच में होता है, फिर बाद में विदुर जी और मैत्री मुनि के बारे में उनके बीच में होगा। तो जैसे जैसे वो संवाद आएगा हम देखते हैं।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण।
ठीक है माता जी। तो
यस।
अगले हफ्ते हम मिलते हैं। तो अगले हफ्ते हम देखेंगे कि कैसे भगवान कृष्ण जी और उनका जो यदुवंश है वो कैसे अपनी लीला समाप्त करके इस पृथ्वी को छोड़ते हैं, और कैसे जो हमारे पांडवा हैं वो भी इस पृथ्वी को छोड़ते हैं, अपनी लीला समाप्त करते हैं। ठीक है। तो हरे कृष्णा, अगले हफ्ते हम मिलते हैं भागवत सेशन।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। हरे
हरे
कृष्ण।